Thank you, Your Worship. I have a quick statement under 12, I suppose 12.2. And under 11, a question regarding the TLAC committee. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councillor Peterson.
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Graychuk.
Nothing, Your Worship.
I have nothing. Administration.
Your Worship,
Councillor Fuel. Oh, pardon me. Before I go any further, just to let everybody know, we have Councillor Fuel attending the meeting. He's out of town right now. He's attending the meeting via telephone, and that's to make sure that we have a quorum. So just to let everybody know. Councillor Fuel, do you have any items that you'd like to add to the agenda?
I don't, Your Worship.
Thank you. Administration?
Your Worship, we have an item under 2.5, in camera, an item pertaining to FOIP Section 24, local public body confidence.
Thank you. Any other items? I'll take a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So move.
Have a motion to accept the agenda as amended. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Your
Next
Worship,
item. Yes.
sorry. Perhaps it would be good to ask Councillor Fuel which way he'd like to vote.
Yes.
Do you want me to say aye if I vote in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
And you're going to have to remind me because I'm not used to this.
That's okay. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is adoption of the June 14th, and it says regular council, but I do believe it was a special council meeting on June the 14th. So we have adoption of the minutes of the special council meeting of June 14th. I'll take a motion
I'll
to...
make that motion, Your Worship.
Thank you. Have a motion from Councillor Fuel to accept the minutes of the special council meeting of June 14th. Any discussion?
Your Worship, just a comment that I will be voting, but I was not present at that meeting.
Thank you.
Your Worship,
Yes?
are you getting mixed up with the special council meeting on June 20th?
No.
No?
No. We actually had a special council meeting on the 14th, and if you take a look on page 9.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, good. So we have a motion to accept the minutes of the special council meeting on June 14th. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Councillor Fuel votes in favor. Next is adoption of the June 15th regular council minutes.
So moved, Your Worship.
We have a motion from Councillor Peterson to accept the minutes from June the 15th. Any
Your Worship.
Councillor Councillor Sobel?
Once again, I will be voting, but I was not present for those for that meeting.
Thank you.
Your Worship, that'll be the same for me too.
Thank you. So we have a motion now for the adoption of the minutes of June 15th. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. And adoption of the June 20th special council meeting minutes. We have a motion from Councillor Graychuk to accept the minutes from June the 20th special council meeting. Any discussion? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. First item on our agenda is a delegation, Mr. Shad Gao, in regards to RV parking. If you would like to come forward, sir. Please.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. I do have an issue I'd like to bring up in bylaw 14-11. This is about having an RV vehicle in the front yard for more than 72 hours.
Go ahead.
I've had bylaw at my house twice in the past few weeks about having my RV parked in the front parking pad on the concrete, not intruding onto the sidewalk at all. What I'm trying to find out is how much of a problem it is for having it there when I see so many RVs on front lots of houses all throughout town. I know it can be moved to the side, and that's okay, as well as the rear of the building, of the house. What I'm trying to find out some answers as to why I cannot have it on the front of the house. And if we can maybe look at some sort of amendment in a certain case, the fact that there's no back alley as to where my house stands, or there's no room on the side without destroying all the vegetation. Just store it.
So are you asking us a particular question?
Well, yes, I'd like to keep my RV there throughout the summer months as I use it quite frequently
Where is it stored right now?
in the front of my house on the parking lot.
In the front of your house on a parking pad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And has bylaw issued a ticket or anything to you?
No, just a warning, just a discussion
Mhm.
that it can't be there. And I just don't understand the reason behind it.
Okay. Did bylaw give you a reason?
Basically just stated out the fact that it can't stay there for 72 hours and no actual reason was really given. I haven't talked to him directly a whole lot. I was at work when he did call and I had to cut it short.
Okay.
So what I'm basically trying to do is, because I have no back alley or access to my backyard to store it throughout the summer months, I'd like to keep it on my front driveway.
Councillor Sobel?
Sure, I'll weigh into this, because I was present when that bylaw was brought into legislation. Believe it or not, it's one of the most, more contentious issues that have ever been raised in council in regards to whether, I'll remember that one of these days. One of the more contentious issues that was raised, when it was brought in, there was a lot of input from clients, and you know, it's quite possible that your particular case does not create an issue in regards to traffic or safety or infringement on a neighbor's property. But I can guarantee you that if we were to put this out to the community, those arguments would be made very, very loudly. There's a lot of people that are concerned about that, about having a trailer blocking their sun, for instance, the sun, from their lawn for a period of, for the whole summer. So we're talking about residences that are close together with a trailer in the front and blocking out the sun. And believe it or not, there's lots of cases like that. So this was a compromise. It was a 72-hour period of time that council of the day decided to allow motorhome owners, and it solved the issue. And there was lots of advice and discussion on this matter, but it was basically to deal with this in as fair a way as we could, and to ensure that the safety and the, you know, because everybody's got a right to enjoy their property, and leaving them in the front was interfering with that. So that was the reason, if you're looking for the reason for why the bylaw came in. And it's my understanding that I don't think bylaws, and I could be wrong on this, but I don't think bylaws actually going out and using this as one of their prime issues. I think they're more or less responding to complaints in this regard.
Okay, so with that being said, in my case, my neighbor and I both have RVs in front of our yard on the parking pad for the last 3 years. It became an issue because I believe it's because I parked in front of somebody else's house on the street. And so that upset them that I parked in front of their house. And now I'm getting tickets or ones. Okay. There was one more thing I wanted to bring up. It's not on here. So basically, it's just, okay, so there's a lot of people in Strathmore that have RVs on the front driveway of their homes. Will something be done about them, or am I just going to be singled out?
I can't answer that question.
I've done my due diligence and I've driven around the city, and there's quite a few.
Councillor Victor?
Thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Graychuck?
Thank you, Your Worship. So do you say you have a legal parking pad directly in front of your house?
Yes, my driveway.
Are you, in what neighborhood is this? You don't have to say.
Strathaven Drive.
Strathaven, sorry, yeah. And there's several like that around? Or,
With RVs in front of their people's houses.
On their parking
paths,
pads?
Yes.
yeah, I don't, I'm confused why,
Why it's an issue.
yeah.
And it's not just here, it's just.
I'm not taking, pardon me, I'm not taking sides here.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm starting to feel that I'm being singled out, all because I ticked off a neighbor or something along those lines. I don't want to be forced to having to move my RV into an RV lot for the summer, pay the extra $400, which is fine, but it's more of the hassle of taking it in and out, when everybody else is allowed to keep theirs in front of their houses.
I would just recommend or to ask administration to take it up with bylaw and see what the issue is. Go ahead.
I've done that through the chair. I was expecting to respond to this. Bylaw advised me that they deal with it on a case-by-case basis, on a complaint basis, and that's why they responded to this.
Okay.
Because of complaints.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we can leave it at that then?
Just one quick, just to make sure that is there anything else from administration that they wish to add?
Your Worship, and I will just mention that it is in our land use bylaw for off-street parking, that a recreational vehicle in a front yard is not allowed for more than 72 hours in one 168-hour period. So it is actually in the land use bylaw. And Councillor Sobel is also correct. In 2011, there was a proposed bylaw amendment to allow recreational vehicles to have a relaxation during the summer through the public process.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, and I'll just add one comment. I'm sorry if you, Don, but from what we heard from administration, it's that they have had complaints directed to them, and I don't know, and I don't think administration has the information here as to how many other people they may have had complaints on and may have contacted and asked them to move their RV also. So, yes, you likely do see a lot of RVs there.
long as we don't make reference to the public hearing documents.
It's all part of the public hearing. The public hearing is closed. You cannot speak further to it.
That's right, so we won't use the public hearing documents, we'll only use in answer to for this delegation, to answer to council's request.
But that information was asked in the public hearing. And I'm right on that, I know that. We can speak to this issue once a motion is made, when we go back and to make on the public hearing motion. That's when we can speak to this.
And that does come up later, doesn't it?
That comes up later tonight.
Your call, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like some direction from the administration,
If
please.
council does feel more comfortable, we can wait till the bylaw comes up to speak to this regard.
I think it's just fair for everybody.
Yes, we'll pause it, and we'll ask you to come back when we bring the bylaw to the floor.
Not a problem.
And then we'll go forward.
Okay, with respect to the other points that were made in our delegation request, between the time we go forward and receiving a copy of the report from staff, a lot of our questions were answered in the report, so this is basically all we have.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. Thank you. All righty. Next item on our agenda is Mr. Brett Weiser. Would you please come forward?
Your Worship, council members, thank you for giving me a time to present a project that the Lions Club is involved in. We're going to be putting up on the screen the area along the WID Canal to the south of Grand Point. Oh. Thank you. Now, my understanding is that the Lions Club in the town of Strathmore have an agreement that the Lions could develop this as a park. And so I'm on the committee for the development of the park. I'm chairing that committee. And we would like to present to council our idea for the first phase of the park development. If you look on the map, you will see on the right-hand side a connecting, there's a pathway behind Grand Point to the north part of the park, and there's a pathway partly on the south side along the canal. What we want to do is connect it from the pathway behind Grand Point to where the bridge goes across. We would actually be paving that area. And that end of the park would become known as the Memorial Forest. And it would be dedicated to planting of trees and shrubs and foliage in honor and in memory of people, whoever wants to plant there. We would also put a connecting link between the present pathway that goes from Green Meadows Drive to the paved pathway on the north side. We would connect that to the pathway on the south side. So basically what we're doing is we're paving two different areas and connect what's already there and continue the pavement. In addition to that, we will be placing two benches along the south pathway, and these would be benches similar to the ones the town of Strathmore is presently using, and they would be ones with arm rest on each end, because we find that it's easier for elderly people and people with walking difficulties and so forth to get up from the chair when they have an arm to help them. And so we would be ordering two of those, and then we would put 3 picnic tables in the area marked on the map where it says picnic area. And we would be placing those in conjunction with the town Parks Department, so they would be in agreement with that. We've been in consultation with Dave Rhymes on this park, and he's aware of our ideas. So I come to you simply this evening to say that the Lions would like to develop this. We would like to have the go-ahead on it. And we have, money has been allocated by the Lions Club for it. There would be no cost to the town of Strathmore for any of the product. We are also going to make this what we call a legacy project, which is in honor of the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Lions Club. And that will take place in 2017. And you might be interested to know that the Strathmore Lions Club has been here as long as I've been born. And,
25 years?
25 years.
125?
77 years in January is when the Lions Club was formed. And so the Lions Club has done a lot for the community, and the community has done a lot for the Lions Club. We relish the relationship we have with the town, and we would ask that you would take this as a consideration and give us your approval.
Councillor Graychuk?
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you. I do believe the Lions Club is doing a tremendous job in the community here. I really appreciate it. And I love this project here also, the way you got it put out. And I don't know if this, is that a development, do they need a development permit? Do the neighbors have to be notified of this, or? I'm asking administration.
Your worship, out of courtesy,
Yes, go
yes,
ahead.
we would notify.
You would?
Out of courtesy,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
If I can respond to that, we've already been in contact with some of the neighbors, and we will continue to involve the neighborhood in the development of the park, in any part of it. And we also will have to get permission from the WID to put the pavement in, because it's on their part of the land.
Thank you. I'm in favor of it, for one.
Councillor Sobel?
Thank you. I know nobody will believe this, but the words failed me at this point. This is just an amazing project, and I know it's been on the books for a long time, and you guys have been working hard on it, and I just want to send some congratulations out to your whole team, your whole club for going ahead with this. This is really amazing. One quick question I do have, Robert, if I may, is will this have any effect on the disc golf game that's presently in that location?
No, it will not. We will be working with the disc golf course and making sure that none of the picnic tables or the pathways are encroaching upon that. And when the disc golf people were developing their idea for the park, they were in consultation
great.
with us, because they knew that we were in the process of developing this park.
Yeah, well, absolutely great. I'm totally in favor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pardon
me?
Do we need a motion?
Well, just hold on a second. I just want to know if administration needs to add any comments to help council put a motion forward first.
Your worship, I believe that administration is definitely in support of this project, and I know that Robert has been working with our Parks Department, so we'd be supportive and give the Lions Club as much support as we can.
Good. Councillor Peterson, I'll take your motion now, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would move that Strathmore Town Council give full approval to the Strathmore Lions for the development of a Lions Park in the designated area. And I do so on behalf of council with great gratitude. Thank you.
We have a motion on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously.
Aye, aye.
And we knew you were going to vote in favor of that, Councillor Fuel.
+1.
Thank you
And
very much. We'll be in contact.
thank you and the Lions for all you do in our community every day. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is Bylaw 1609, Land Use Bylaw Amendment, Lakewood Meadows. And would we like to have development come forward and address the issue if there's anything that needs to be addressed, and all tour properties, if they're also available, I guess. So I will ask administration to make sure that we are doing this correct. Should we put the motion on the floor first, or are we allowed to ask questions first?
Your Worship, Council asked for clarification on a few items, so it would be okay to discuss those items first.
Good, thank you. Councillor Blokland?
Thank you, Your Worship. Could I ask administration for clarification on myself as a councillor regarding my absence at the public hearing meeting on June 15th, I believe?
Yes, Your Worship.
Am I allowed to speak, debate, or vote, or none of the above?
Your Worship, no, you're not. Both Councillor Sobel and Councillor Blockland were not present at the public hearing, so you cannot vote on the matter.
Thank you.
Your Worship, I understand that, but Councillor Blockland raises an interesting issue in regards to asking questions. And I can't find anything in there that says you can't.
Questions for clarification would be okay, but you cannot vote on
Correct.
the bylaw.
Good, thank you. So, there was some clarification, and who would like to start with the clarification? The developer or the development department?
Well, I put the question forward. You can clarify.
The access at the southern end has to be a public access. The distance from, well, and I think this was dealt with in our previous report.
Your Worship, if I could just interject, I can't hear anything anymore. It's like every other word or every third word.
Thank you, we'll try and talk a little bit louder. Can you hear me better?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so then it's just the people at the podium.
Yes, I think so.
Okay,
So in view of the fact that the distance, now not just what's shown in yellow there, but the distance from that intersection there to the end of that cul-de-sac is well over 200 meters, there needs to be a second public access. And the administration is unanimous in that.
okay, thank you.
It's not just a little over 200 meters, it's a lot over 200 meters. The second issue would have probably have been dealt with at the development permit stage anyway. And the reason we did it the way we're doing it is, and if you'll bear with me, it's more than likely, if I can get this thing to, that this road will continue up to some point. That there'll be townhouses to the left, to the west of it, but to the east, it's likely that the townhouses will be running east-west rather than north-south. That means that there will probably be a row of townhouses along here and a parking lot and an access aisle separating the two. That enables this parking lot and access to be connected to that municipal reserve strip, which has a 2.5 meter walkway on it. We will probably widen that walkway out to something in the order of 3 to 6 meters as required, put the bollards in. I'm a little leery about going 6 meters because it invites other things, but if you want fire truck access, it needs to be 6 meters. But that's something that we'll deal with at the development permit stage. And it's something we would have dealt with anyway. But we don't have a detailed proposal at this time. So I think it was good to catch it, but we would have caught it anyway.
Okay, thank you. There were some other items that were brought forward also? Go ahead.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we're satisfied with our inquiries, so we're good.
Okay,
It says here that they're going to address the wetlands.
well, what they're doing with the wetlands, if I remember correctly on that report, is the value of those wetlands are being paid into Ducks Unlimited, and the money will go to whichever area Ducks Unlimited is working on in regards to restoring wetlands. So we won't have the wetlands in that area anymore. That's the way I read it. Am I correct?
Yes, that's page 43 of your agenda package.
Yep. And that's, I think, quite within the rules as permitted. Yep. And then the other question, there was a question in regards to traffic on, I call it North Boundary Road. Was that issue also addressed?
I believe so. The direction was that we should try and get both lanes constructed as part of the first phase. The reason that I included the cross-section on page 32 of your agenda package is that shows what this road will actually look like. So on the right-hand side of the drawing, that's the south side of the road. And so there'll be 5 meters of dedication, but there'll be no road widening as such in that 5 meters. I've highlighted it at the top in green. So that's really where the water line and the pathway and the street light are gonna go. It's only at such time as the quarter section to the north is subdivided that we'll pick up another 15 meters, and that's where the road widening will happen. And the way I've tried to follow council's instructions, but there was a bit of a snag in that, and we can certainly do that at this time, but we're currently reviewing engineering drawings for phase 2 of Lakewood Meadows. So it would probably be best if those roadway improvements in this 100 meters were coordinated with Lakewood Meadows to the west. So I trust that that's acceptable to council.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that, Your Worship.
Okay.
And then the other points were basically the landscaping of the municipal reserve strip and the number of lots, the number of trees per lot. There was also in response to the environmental concern, there is an opportunity here to take some additional environmental reserve to widen out that municipal reserve strip by 1.6 meters. I'll leave that to council if they wish to pursue that.
Does council wish to pursue it? No? No further questions? No? I'll take a motion then.
Your Worship, I move that we give second reading to bylaw number 16-09 as amended.
Discussion? Do you have any discussion, Councillor Fuel?
Yes, Your Worship. I just have one comment, and that is, I think as a council, we have tried to do our due diligence to make sure that whatever future development in this area of Lakewood Meadows, whatever happens, that we've listened to the people across the canal in Hillview, and I think the developers have really tried to answer and address some of the concerns and questions that have come forward. And I think since it's a privately owned property, there's not much we can do to stop development, and they should be allowed to develop, the owners. So this is one way of proving this, that the town has some control, and they've talked about height restrictions and that for the properties. And so they looked at sight lines, and I think this is the best kind of development. If we're going to approve something, at least we've done our due diligence to make sure that the properties going in will not adversely affect Hillview too much.
Thank you. No further discussion. So, Councillor Graycheck, you said that council gives second reading to bylaw 1609 as amended?
Yes.
Thank
Your
you.
Worship.
No further discussion? All in favor? And
Aye.
Councillor Fuel says in agreement. Thank you.
Your Worship, could it be marked on file that Councillor Blockland and myself abstained?
That's
because
on file?
we're not present for the public hearing.
Right. Good. I'll take a motion to give third reading.
So moved, Your Worship.
We have a motion for third reading of bylaw 1609. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Councillor Fuel, thank you. Passed. And Councillor Fuel, I don't know whether or not you're going to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Your Worship, I believe if there's no other voting matters for me, I would like to ask to be excused from the balance of the meeting.
I'll just check with administration. Is administration in agreement? Thank you. You're excused, Councillor Fuel. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Your Worship.
We're cutting you off now.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
And hang up the phone. Next item on our agenda is the Marigold Library levy rates for 2017 and 2018. And corporate services, please. Thank you. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Worship. The town of Strathmore is a member of the Marigold Library System and is one of the 44 member libraries serving South Central Alberta. And our town library, of course, serves Strathmore and surrounding area. The Marigold Library System has placed before the town rates for the 2017 and 2018 year, and they're listed in the agenda item. The total amount that has been paid in past years, I'd like to add these amounts. In 2012, the amount of $59,481 was paid by the town. In 2013, $64,848. In 2014, $69,171. In 2015, $70,530. And in 2016, $77,696. The amounts have increased for 2017 and 2018 by approximately 2% in each of those years. Those are my comments, Your
Okay,
Worship.
good, thank you. Questions? Are you looking for a motion?
Yes, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion, please.
I would so move the recommended motion. Where am I? I'm behind.
Page 57. Just
You want me to
council
get it?
authorize the
You want
mayor
me-
or
Go ahead.
member.
Yeah. So I would author, so go ahead, Council Sullivan, thank you.
I move that council authorize the mayor or a member of council to sign Schedule C in support of the revised levy.
We have a motion on the floor. I will ask a question. This is well within our budget.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the floor to authorize a member or a mayor, or the mayor to, member of council or the mayor to sign Schedule C in support of the revised levy. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. And next is an item from Happy Gang.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Happy Gang has received a grant from the New Horizons program to replace the flooring in the main room and also to purchase a projector. And they are just asking for council's approval to proceed with the project, as it is a town-owned building.
Is a motion required? Or is it just, yes? Okay, thank you.
Yes, Your Worship, we'd like a motion on that, please.
Thank you. Do we have questions first? No questions? So there's no cost to the town, and what happens is the town gets a building that has more value after it's all finished.
That is correct.
Okay.
I guess I do have a question.
Okay.
Has the flooring been looked at by administration? Like, do we know what's going in there?
Yeah, it is a laminate type flooring similar to what we have in our kitchen.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion then, please.
I move that council approve the flooring and overhead projector renovations proposed by the Happy Gang for their space in the Lambert Center.
We have a motion on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Next item on our agenda is committee reports. And Councillor Graychuck, I will start
I
with
just
you.
thought you'd start with me.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Your Worship. What am I doing? Thank you, Your Worship. From SWAT, this is kind of redundant, but there was a skate park event, June 26th, by SWAT, put on and provided food for lunch, and had an information table at the event. And I understand that it was a very good event. It went over very well. Our bank balance is $22,021.61. And our slogan board contract is up for renewal at the end of June. So the slogan for September should be it's the same in all locations. It's a short text form message, but can you read this? We have the public response to our new website, and would have the 3 prizes, and how they like it: a family pass, zoo, Terrell Museum, and a Telespark Center. And that's going to be organized now. The brochures that are being, and I don't know if they're here yet from SWAT. There should be. I think they were all made up and handed out. There should have been before the skate park event. Our new website is www.swatteam.ca. I had mentioned that before, but I want it recorded. And that's all I got from SWAT. As far as the lodge, the biggest concern with Wheatland Lodge was that there's going to be a shortfall of about 25% for utilities because of the carbon tax coming June or in 2017. Or it's half of this year, and it'll be about 24,000 K, which we really don't have right now. So that is a big concern. The barbecue for the lodge is July 14th, and if you feel free to come down to it. And the biggest thing right now is that we hired an architect, and they're involved in to this the needs assessment. This is the first step in the development process for a new facility in the Wheatland County. And I'm very excited about that, and we're working forward to because it's very much in need, and we're working forward to seeing the progress on that in the near year, in the coming up year. And that's about it for Wheatland Lodge, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Peterson?
Thank you. And I will send these to you. The Strathmore Overnight Shelter is ready to begin the process of putting in their sprinkler system, and they're hopeful that it will be in and approved in the fall of this year, and the bylaws for the SOS board are nearing completion. Strathmore Seniors Advisory, there are ongoing concerns noted about transportation for seniors. A report regarding Seniors Week was presented, and the Seniors Advisory Committee had an active role in that week. They did many things, undertook many things within the community. They are looking into applications for grants, and they're currently in the process of applying for 2 grants. The resource book is in the process of being updated. Seniors Advisory continues to consider creative ideas to communicate new initiatives generated through provincial and federal governments, such as the Home Enhancement Project, recently announced by the Alberta government to assist seniors to stay in their homes. The Marigold Library has been working with Stoney Nakoda and Siksika Nations to issue library cards. This is very good for Marigold as it increases their user group numbers, and hopefully in the future these numbers will also be reflected in the grant allocations. It, of course, has been very well received in Stoney Nakoda and Siksika. The 2015 audited financial statement for Marigold is complete, and they remain in a strong financial position, and I think all of council got that report, and it is on their website as well. And the feasibility study is ongoing in the search for a new or renewed home. Councillor Graychuk and Mayor L. sit on that committee, and I'm not sure if they wish to speak to it further, but that's all I have, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Blokeland?
Thank you, Your Worship. Attended a handy bus meeting a couple of weeks ago. I lost my notes on it somewhere, so I'm just trying to ad lib here. We did put a new unit in service here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Our current level now is at 8 drivers and 6 vans, and we might have to increase the drivers as we kept our old unit. In an unrelated meeting, we did have a meeting with MLA Derek Fildebrandt last week regarding problems and issues with the Handy Bus Association, servicing both in and out of town, and I believe, Your Worship, you were at that meeting too. I thought that was a good meeting, and hopefully some positive stuff comes out of there. Unfortunately missed the Chamber of Commerce meeting regarding a family funeral, and I believe we didn't have no Wademza meeting, right, Councillor Peterson?
Pardon me?
There was no Wademza meeting.
No,
Okay.
there was not.
That's it for me, Your Worship.
We may want to speak to that, though, Councillor Blockland. The reason that there has been no Wademsa meeting,
Yeah.
do you want to speak to that?
No, you go ahead.
The reason that there has been no Wademsa meeting is that there have been difficulty in reconciling their books. And not that there's anything untoward, it's just that there's been some significant changes undergone in data processing and in new people as well in the organization. So that's why the meeting has been put off until that issue is resolved, and then we'll move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sobel?
Thank you, Your Worship. Myself and the mayor attended the Calgary Regional Partnership General Assembly annual meeting on June 22nd in Cochrane, and there was a little bit of business to take care of in regards to the approval of the financial statement for the year, and that was done. There was also a great deal of information on the ONIT regional transportation system. That was very informative, and all in all, it was a good meeting. I also attended the Calgary Regional Partnership Transportation Committee meeting, also in Cochrane, and there was a need to support or approve the Green Fund applications, which would go forth to the executive, and it was done by this committee. And also there was some significant information regarding the federal transportation grant application, which coincides with the green trip funding. So if we had been fortunate in going for the green trip, there was an opportunity for federal funding, and we're hopeful that will continue in the future. There was no council policy review committee for June, and in regards to the sustainability committee, our volunteers have been busy in June. Attended with our water trailer, with the town's water trailer, to supervise same on 2 occasions, the Strathmore race and Canada Day. I would comment that Canada Day was an extremely busy day for our tank. Our stainless steel tank in our water trailer holds 400 gallons, and we ran out of water. So at about 6:00 p.m. So it was a well-used issue on that day. And some exciting news for the Sustainability Committee. We are heading up to Leduc on July 14th, and the concept for our trip up to there is basically that for the Alberta 55 Games last year, we kept the food that was not consumed in the restaurant and turned it into compost, and that compost is going into a beautiful planter that we will be taking up to Leduc and presenting to the 55 Games, the 2016, or 16, yes, 55 plus Games people. There's a group of about 6 or 7 from the members of the Sustainability Committee going up there, so we're looking forward to turning over our sustainability torch to Leduc with an invitation that they turn in turn over to the next group that will be hosting the games. Our Traffic Advisory Committee, it was some discussion in regards to the proposal to bring some roads in Strathmore down to a 40-kilometer-an-hour zone, and our administration is working hard on trying to figure out how that's going to work. It's going to be a little while before that comes back to council for approval, but it will be it is something that's being worked on, and we look forward to that. And I was unable to attend the Downtown Revitalization Committees. I was out of town, and that's all I have, Your Worship.
Thank you. And my item is June 7th, I attended the Calgary Regional Partnership Economic Prosperity Committee, and the CRP presented a workshop on broadband and digital connectivity opportunities in the Calgary region. Municipality representatives present were MDF Foothills, Wheatland, towns, and villages included Black Diamond, Turner Valley, High River, Cochrane, Strathmore, Okotoks, Olds, Earcana, Canmore, Banff, Redwood Meadows, cities of Airdrie, Calgary, and Chestermere. Government of Alberta, Agriculture and Forestry was there, Economic Development and Trade. The Palliser Partnership was there, Southwest Economic Alliance, Bow Valley College, Van Horn Institute, and the Palliser Partnership. The group agreed as to the value of the broadband connectivity, and a variety of solutions were discussed, including the use of SuperNet. Discussion on the value of connectivity between municipal government departments and the need for secure confidential communications indicate the connectivity will be needed. Density will increase to benefit to the users with density. Each unit should its needs and the benefits from the installation of fiber. And that fiber should engage the community to determine the citizens' needs for broadband activity. Attended the June 26th Calgary Regional Partnership AG and approved the board of directors also of BPO Canada partnership year. And the on provincial support of the Calgary on
as far as building is concerned. The other thing, on Monday, and they did have a little demonstration in front of the grandstand, and without any advertising, there was about 400 people in the grandstand, which I found quite exciting. And what they did was, on their demonstration, they took 32 Percheron horses, hitched to 8 wagons, and made a big circle. And by the time the last wagon was moving, the front of the horses, the front end of the horses touched the last end, part of the back end of the wagon, which was kind of interesting. And they left town yesterday morning, and it was quite an exciting event for a lot of old timers and people that don't understand how we operated or the country operated 100 years ago. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Administration?
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'll update you on the building stats to date, to the end of June. We had issued 85 residential permits, and of those, 40 were for residential dwelling units. 11 commercial building permits, 4 new starts, and 7 renovations or additions. And 4 institutional permits, for a total of 100 permits at a building value of $13,273,979. And we have also completed our downtown sustainability project, the parking lot across from the Valley Medical Clinic. So the landscaping and the patio and furniture have been placed, as well as the trees. And the paving should take place later this month. And the basketball court that council approved, 50 by 50, we have started excavation on that, and hopefully the paving and line painting will follow soon. That's everything, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Sorry, if I may. I just wanted to inform council, after several weeks of advertising for the Public Arts Board, we've had little response from members of the public to sit on the board. So if council can think of anyone to suggest that we may contact, if they could report to administration so we can move forward with that board, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have you had no response at all?
We have had one.
One person?
Yes.
Okay. And that's something that our newspapers can help with too.
It was in the newspaper.
Yeah. Anyways, I will take a motion to accept the reports.
I shall move, Your Worship.
We have a motion to accept the reports. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is 11.1, TLAC, Councillor Blokeland.
Thank you, Your Worship. A few council meetings ago, we discussed the possible formation of a TLAC committee with regards to the taxi bylaw. I just want to know, there was supposed to be some meetings set up. and where we're at in that stage, and
Sure, Your Worship, I'll respond. So my understanding is some information needed to come forward in regard to how to set up a TLAC committee, and TLAC committees in general. And we've been having some problems finding models of TLAC committees for our size. The only thing that I can find so far in that regard is with the city of Calgary. And it's really not comparable. It's a completely different animal than what we have here in Strathmore. I believe one of the things was to consult with Councillor Blockland, with yourself, in regard to maybe discussing what a TLAC committee could look like in Strathmore. So perhaps at an upcoming policy review committee meeting, we could do that. That's just administration's thoughts.
okay, good, thank you.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is correspondence and council statements. Councillor Sobel, please.
Thank you, thank you, Your Worship. So I think I'm in my 8th year of council here, somewhere around there, and one of my highlights of the year, and one I'm fairly heavily involved in, is the Canada Day celebrations. And the reason I'll be very honest with you, the reason I like Canada Day celebrations, it's an opportunity for everyone in this community, rich, poor, anything, and everyone to get involved and have some fun on what is normally a really nice day. And that was the case this year as well. And the reason I brought up the 8 years was because I've watched this Canada Day celebration that we put on, that the town puts on every year, just grow and get better and better and better. And I really did not think they were going to be able to beat last year, because last year was pretty neat. But they did beat it by all reports. The Canada Day celebrations that were held this year were absolutely amazing. And I just want to recognize Tracy Simpson, Kendra Armstrong, who are the two main organizers from our staff. But we're supported by a great many people, including our park staff and a lot of other members of administration. So my really deep gratitude to everybody that worked on that. They made a lot of people smile, and it was an absolutely fantastic day. So thank you.
Deborah wouldn't let me ride on the train, just so you know.
Possibly a good reason.
Thank you very much for those words, Councillor Sobel. And I reiterate what you said in regards to all of the work that was done by staff, administration, Tracy and Kendra and the citizens and everybody to make Canada Day such a success. And I too have seen Canada Day in this town grow for years and years and years, and something to be very proud of. Next year, of course, is Canada's 150th birthday, so we are looking forward to make it even a whole bunch better next year. And I do believe Tracy Simpson has indicated that she's trying to get a committee together, so let the word be known that we want Strathmore and area people to be involved in our Canada Day committee.
Your Worship, we will send an email out to all staff tomorrow thanking them for their efforts.
Thank you.
And just so you know, yes, Tracy and Kendra already have many, many plans for next year.
Good. Next item on the agenda is Councillor Blockland.
Thank you, Your Worship. I basically have a thank you on behalf of myself and my family, my brother Emil in High River and his family, my sister Winnie and her family in Stettler. I'd like to thank council, staff and administration for the flowers sent to Stettler regarding my dad's funeral. It was very thoughtful from all of you and touched our family with gratitude. Thank you all.
Thank you. And I'm not sure if you caught the item here, but Councillor Peterson is 12.3.
Oh, Your Worship, I thank you for your generosity in allowing this. I forgot that Hope Bridges had requested that I ask administration if it would be possible for them to put somewhere on the website the information regarding the quilts that are on the buildings in the downtown. So this stemmed from a conversation I had with Hope Bridges after many, many people in the community said, what are they for? Why are they there? What do they mean? And so they're in the process of still trying to enhance that, but they want to get the word out. The other thing that I asked them to consider, I asked them if they would consider putting QR codes on the buildings so that underneath them, so that they could put that information, be very easy for lots of people to access. And they weren't really certain how to do that, but I said maybe there was someone from here that could guide them in that.
Go ahead.
So, Your Worship, will certainly help with that, yes.
I showed them the download and whatnot, but just maybe guide them. Thank
Sure.
you.
If they want to touch base with us, yeah, we'd be more than
Thank you.
happy.
Does anybody have any other items they wish to bring forward? If not, I'll take a motion to go in camera.
So move.
I have a motion to go in camera. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much for attending.